Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. So it's time for Taroscopes again. This will be the Taroscopes for the sign of Pisces. That's Pisces Sun, Moon, and/or Rising for the month of November 2023. Before we get to the tarot part of the Taroscope, let's look at some astrology. Just some general, I'm going to just give some general thoughts on October. Just almost too much. Almost too much. It's interesting because oftentimes when we see the light, right at the same time that happens, we see the darkness in its darkestness. And we definitely was experienced that in October. We got a lot of truth coming out, maybe some justice in the future, and a lot of really disturbing images of people going through some really, really terrible things. And a terrible thing is a terrible thing. And when you're Pisces and you're empathic and you're sensitive to the woes of the world, it can be very overwhelming. So please, my little Pisces people, be gentle with yourselves. Take things in very, very slowly and very gently if you have to take them in at all. You're going to feel it one way or the other, whether you know what's going on or not. So know that there's a lot of darkness, but it's always darkest before the dawn. So this really is, we can see over the hill. We can imagine over the hill that there's a light. It's there, and we're actually already there. We're already there. We're kind of out of the darkness. But not everybody is, and they have to go through their steps, I guess. October was it was an eclipse month. So the evolutionary imperative with Pluto squaring the nodes, no less, evolutionary imperative to do it differently, to renegotiate your contracts, people. And so November, luckily, does not have the eclipse energy per se, although we're still sort of vibrating from it. But there are, it is an 18-9 vibration. November is an 11 month, and we're in a 7 year. So this is the moon card in the tarot. And that is a Pisces card. So it can be the worst of Pisces or the best of Pisces. And so for those of us who have Pisces, we all have Pisces somewhere in our chart. Some people have it more than others. We really need to shine. I was talking to a client today who is not yes, she has a Pisces moon. She might actually watch this. You know who I'm talking to, right? And I said, you let your light shine, and then you're like the lighthouse on the shore, keeping others from smashing into the rocks. So shine your light, guys, and protect yourself. All right, let's look at the astrology. Let's get specific now. In with the deets. All right, let me find this. I get all into what I have to say, and then I forget how to use Zoom. God help me. All right. Where are we? Okay, here. I found the place we need to be. Now I just need to make it a prettier slideshow. Come on now. All right. I know we're doing Pisces, so I'm just going to move there. Let's move to Pisces. Whoops. That's sign of the zodiac. Okay, so we have Saturn in Pisces, and we have, of course, Neptune in Pisces. Neptune's been in Pisces for a long time now, to 2011, 2012, right? And is there until 2026, I believe it is. It does go in and out, I think, and then it goes into Aries, where it makes a conjunction with Saturn, actually. So, but that's another decade. That's another universe away, guys. Let me tell you, that's another world away. Our world has been shifting so quickly, we don't even realize how far we've gotten away from what we knew. And but there are things we know, there are things we can be sure of, that love unites and fear divides. So if you want healing and you want us to be at peace and united and not fighting each other, then we need to love each other. Of course, Pisces, you're really good at that. I mean, Pisces is the sign of unconditional love. It's also the sign of self-sacrifice. So you do have to be careful about that, Pisces. You didn't come here to suffer. You didn't come here to sacrifice yourself for others. That's the old paradigm, guys. That is the old Judeo-Christian paradigm, martyrs and suffering and all these martyrs. Why do we need martyrs? You know, to a certain extent, if we were to stop the violence in, say, a place like Palestine and the Middle East, and the need for martyrs, there'd be no more martyrs, right? So in a way, your beliefs system kind of creates the need for what you believe to be true. And so it's hard to believe other stuff, but sometimes you have to like realize that this is a little bit too much, even for somebody who believes in martyrs, and stop doing it. And then we move into the Aquarian age, right? Where we raise all boats, where it's about equality. And it's about sharing and creating networks. So that's where we're there too. It's just not quite, we're not completely there. We still have some Capricorn to deal with. Speaking of Capricorn, Pluto's in Capricorn, of course. It's this month, it goes from about 1 degree, 28 to 29 degrees of Capricorn. This is in your house of friends. So you're still going through your transformation on that side of things. You're also, you know, your 11th house is your house of new goals. So those have been transforming. New goals, friendships, networks, Pluto going through there, empowering the network. And, you know, empowering the network like the internet and network, but also our interconnectedness. You know, we are connecting with others who are of like vibration. And so we're making the contact, we're making the network is happening. So Neptune in the first house, of course, been there a while, but Saturn does turn around in that first house, Pisces, and that's significant. Saturn made it all the way up, I think, to 8, so it went through the first decan of Pisces. First decan of Pisces is the Neptune decan of Pisces, so more confusion, perhaps. The next decan is the Moon decan, right? That Saturn is going to go through, and then it goes through its Pluto decan. So, am I right? Yes. So we are going over all the we retrograded all the way back almost to 0, and now we're going to go forward. So 3's a charm on that. So stuff that you started back in May, March, April, May, June, before it went, I think it went retrograde in July, before it went retrograde, all that time. Now we're going all over that, and now we're going to come back over that again. And that's going to go, of course, into next year, but not too far into next year. Saturn is going to move, I think, pretty quickly. And it's in your first house. So you have to take care of your body. You have to be in your body. This is as in your body as Pisces actually probably gets, Saturn and Pisces. And of course, Saturn like structure on Pisces is anything but. So there's a dissolution of old structures. At the same time, we need to utilize our imagination to create the future in our minds and our mind's eye in order to have it see it manifest. See it manifest. Okay, so the sun is in the sign of Scorpio as we start the month. That's good for you. You like that. It's a fellow water sign. In fact, we have the sun in Scorpio, we have Mercury in Scorpio, we have Mars in Scorpio. Mercury stays the least amount of time in Scorpio this month, leaving and moving into Sag on the 10th, and then in Sag from the 10th to the 30th. Sagittarius is your house of career. So there could be more light shown on what you've accomplished. Of course, if you've been bad, there's light can get shown on that too. So just be aware the sun is the energy is in that house. And so if you know that what you do, you'll be seen doing. Okay. So all right. Then we have the next one to move into Sagittarius is the sun. That happens on the 22nd. So we have the sun and Mercury and Mars, which I'll talk about, in that 9th and 10th house. Those are the two highest houses. So this is the highest, this is the most, a lot of energy up there. And so Pisces is an energy of compassion, and we certainly need compassion in those areas, far away places, right? The 9th house. So much war, so much suffering. And then the 10th house, which is about leadership and being an authority, and that's sort of under attack as well. So there's a lot of this attack energy. And Pisces has that healing vibe. So there's a lot of healing needed. But with Pisces, you don't have to actually go there to do it. You can do it from the comfort of the space you're in. Even if you don't know what's going on, it might even be better, because then you become a channel, like a pure channel, without like, I like them better than this, so we're gonna send a little bit more energy there, and we're gonna, hope that Putin is dead or dying or whatever, that, stuff like that. That doesn't, you can't do that. It doesn't work that way. But you guys know that because you're Pisces. You understand that. Okay, so Mars is in Scorpio from the 1st to the 24th. Mars likes being in Scorpio. It's one of its rulings. It's one of the signs it rules. Gets to the bottom line. So this is a really good time for research, but also getting to the bottom line of people's motivations. People in power, judges, in the New York case, judges and people in authority, people who make the laws and the rules. You're looking at them pretty penetratingly. Of course, with Mars in that 9th house, this might be a good time to take a trip. Now, normally I wouldn't say that because everything's so crazy out there, but it is a good time to take a trip. But you do, it is Mars, so you do kind of have to be a little bit careful. Don't go too fast. And if you cannot go too fast, then maybe you should just stay home. Mercury moves into from your 9th to your 10th house again. A lot of information, a lot of people maybe even talking about you, or maybe you being able to talk, being out. Maybe you're doing you're in work and you're doing a presentation. People hadn't heard your voice before. Now they're hearing your voice. This is the kind of stuff that would be supported at this month of November. Neptune, of course, your ruling planet, 26 to 25 of Pisces, still retrograde. And then Pluto, I think I spoke of that, in Capricorn, 28, 29 degree, moves about a degree. There's a lot of things happening this month. Oh, we have a new moon in Scorpio. That's happening in your ninth house. So this might actually be a good time to plan a trip for later, because this new moon is exactly opposite Uranus in this, let's see, what is this? The third house. So that Uranus opposite that new moon is it can be unstable and accident prone and things like that. But it's okay to plan. It's okay to plan. Then we have a full moon in Gemini. This is your fourth house. The full moon is in your fourth house. So the moon will be in a house it likes to be in, and the sun will be up in a house it likes to be in, up in the 10th house. But it is an awareness, and the fourth, 10th house acts as the axis of security. So you may be concerned about security in your home or, out in the world. It could be parental stuff too. There could be a realization or an illumination around a parent or something like that, or your parents or how you parent or something like that. So that's a possibility. Again, these aren't eclipses, so they're not as earth-shattering as the eclipse, new moon, full moons can be, but they are powerfully aspected with Uranus opposite the new moon and Saturn square the full moon. So we have the sun and the moon in opposition to each other, and then there's Saturn in the middle there. And Saturn is the lord of karma. And in a way, like there's the two ends and then the thing that holds it. And so people are going to be held responsible for their actions for this period. Okay. I don't think you have anything to worry about, Pisces. I have a Pisces moon. I'm talking to myself. Venus in your house of relationship. That's really nice. Still in Virgo, not there long, eighth house, November 8th till November 8th. And then it moves into the eighth house, which is so bad either. That's a time to like really like evaluate your money situation and the money you share with others. But it's Venus, it's love, and it's in the house of desire. So, maybe you'll get a couple of your desires met this month. Just be, discerning. Just be discerning. All right. So we have the first week is a week of awareness. Now, the first week is actually just the first 4 days. That's how I'm separating it out. And I think the month starts on a Wednesday. We have the sun making an opposition to Jupiter. The sun and Jupiter are the two largest things in the solar system. They make up most of the mass of our solar system. And so we're talking about awareness, but big awareness. And the sun is in Scorpio, and the moon is in Taurus. And Scorpio is life and death, but it's also debt and riches. Who has it? Who doesn't? Who's being put in debt? So people who have it can have more, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Venus opposite Neptune. Now, of course, Neptune's your ruling planet, and Venus is in Virgo at this time with Neptune, of course, in Pisces. This is going to be your first 7th house. So illumination around a relationship, not necessarily negative. This is about love and compassion. It can be about sacrifice, but it brings an awareness where maybe perhaps a lot of love and compassion need to flow between you and the people you relate to. Mercury opposite Uranus as well. Mercury is the planet of the mind. Uranus, the higher mind, the higher vibrational mind. It is the higher octave of Mercury, Uranus is, as is Neptune, the higher octave of Venus. So we have Venus and Mercury expressing itself in an opposition to its own highest octave. So we have an opportunity to see ourselves in a higher vibrational state. And then we have Saturn in your sign, Pisces, putting down the stake and moving forward again. and instituting all that awareness into the steps that it's going to take. And those steps can be steps of healing, your own physical healing as a Pisces and our collective healing. On the second week, we have Venus trine Pluto and Mercury trine Neptune. Venus and Pluto is deep desires, okay? Your Venus, at this point, let's see, this is when it's in Mercury, Scorpio, so it's in Scorpio. So we have 9th house for you, and what am I looking at? Neptune. Oh, 9th, and so we're looking at the 1st and the 9th house for you guys with that Mercury trine Neptune. This is about being what you believe. Like, what is your spiritual mantra? What do you say? Like, what is it? How do you line yourself up with your spirituality? This trine is asking you to do just that, there's a flow. And so it potentiates that for you. Now, of course, if you're a crazy nut fundamentalist, it potentiates that for them as well, which makes it more important for those who are on the other side of things. In fact, and I don't know what's going to happen with this, and it may have already happened, so you'll have to forgive me, but the Speaker of the House, they finally got a Speaker of the House, and this guy is like a hardline gay people, gay sex it should be illegal. This guy is as fundamental as you get. He's from Louisiana. And again, it's this energy of like, what could be the worst possible thing? But I believe that's just a reminder to people that we don't want to be there anymore. We've progressed and we don't want to be there anymore. We want to be somewhere else. We want to be in a different alignment. And when people realize that, then they start being in that alignment. Then that alignment happens. That's the way it works. See it, feel it, know it, be it. It happens for you. All right. Mercury makes an inconjunct to Saturn. That's difficulty probably with finances, not feeling very confident in that first week, which is interesting because Venus trine Pluto would give you a sense of power, but then reality strikes, and so your soul is very powerful, but your life on planet Earth may not be as powerful as you'd like it to be, or as lined up as it likes to be. We need to make adjustments with that. We have, let's see, Mercury sextile Pluto. That's lovely, really deep, deep mind, but then it squares Saturn, which is not bad. It just means that we have to, this energy, these deep insights, we need to just put them into action, and we need to create something in foundations where those realizations and those truths can both express themselves and be heard in whatever way they need to be heard. And then we have at the end of the second week, this is a little dangerous. We have Mars opposite Uranus, so we have to be real careful. That is on Saturday, I believe. Whatever the second week is. What did I do with my calendar? Oh, hold on. I want to make sure I give you the date on this. Silly me, I didn't put the date actually on the chart. All right, let's see. What is it? The 11th Saturday. So just be extra careful on that day, because we have Mars in Scorpio, Uranus in Taurus. The fixed signs are just that. I'm not moving. I'm not changing. I'm not going. You can't make me, that kind of stuff. And like this. So, and Uranus can be pretty explosive. So if you can, be careful, be careful. Be smart, be aware, and take care, as I say. On the third week, we have a new moon in Scorpio. New moon in Scorpio. This is the one that's opposite Uranus, very, very tightly. This is your, let's see, 9th and 3rd house. where that aspect is going to be going over. So this is your mind and your higher mind. So this is about like, okay, so expect that, expect more with this new moon. And the new moon is the seed planted. So it's planting the seed to completely expand your consciousness, sort of, okay, your awareness. We do have, let's see, Venus and Mercury making a yod to Jupiter, Jupiter and Taurus. Mars trines Neptune and the Sun trine Neptune. Mars and the Sun, Mars trines Neptune first, then the Sun trines Neptune, and then the Sun and Mars conjoin, which only happens every 2 years. And this year it's going to happen at 26 degrees of Scorpio. It starts a 2-year synodic cycle. It'll take about a year before we even know what the other side of this is going to look like. But the seeds are being planted now. And it's powerful because Scorpio gets a bad rap, but it's the ultimate healing. It's death of the old and being reborn into the new. And it doesn't have to be a physical death, but it's definitely some sort of surrender to a higher power or a higher force. Okay. And that higher force is not separate from you. It's you live within it. We're just being invited to know more and be more and feel more and love more. On week 4, we have the Sun and Mars. Again, they're moving together. The Sun sextiles Pluto, Mars sextiles Pluto. Very deep penetrating, and an ability and an opportunity for progressive change to move forward in a progressive way. The Sun then moves into Sag. This happens on the 22nd. This is when the Sun is in your house of career. And then it squares Saturn from the first house. So this is let's see, it's a crisis. It's a crisis. Sorry, it's the Sun Saturn. It's a crisis in consciousness square. It's about being responsible for yourself. It's about not thinking that anyone's going to save you, but that you need to take the reins of your life and direct it in the direction that you want. The blame game is over. It's not just Pisces. It's all of us. The blame game is over. We're responsible for what we're doing. We're responsible for what we're not doing. Welcome to karma. Welcome to the law of cause and effect. Welcome to life in a last month was an 8 month. As you sow, so shall you reap. And it was a 17-8, so it was the star. Next year is an 8-year. 17-8 year, the whole year. It's possible that October was a prelude to what the whole year is going to feel like. So we're going to have to shore up our energy fields, guys. Last week, then Mars moves into Sag. That's your 10th house, your career house, your public standing, people are going to see. And then it squares Saturn. So don't speed. You'll be the guy that you see on TikTok or YouTube shorts that this person was stopped by the police for speeding, and you get like everybody sees you in the world, right? So that kind of stuff. Anyway, just don't speed. Follow the laws of how fast you go, please. The last week, Venus in Libra is in the crosshairs of a yod between Uranus and Neptune, two of the transpersonal planets. Venus in Libra is being asked to make sure that justice is not just justice for some, but justice for all. And then we have the full moon in Gemini, which I said is in your the moon in your 4th house, the sun in your 10th house, activating that axis of security and becoming an authority in your own life, being responsible for your own feelings, 4th house, and being responsible for your own resources, 10th house. And then the last thing to happen is Mercury square of the month is Mercury squares Neptune. This can be very confusing for people. Mercury in Sag, Neptune in Pisces. You're a Pisces, so you kind of live in this liminal world to begin with, and it takes a lot of faith. It takes a lot of faith. The Neptune Mercury square is a last quarter square as well, I believe. Let's see, Mercury is in, yeah, it's a last quarter square as well. And so it's really about trusting your own inner voice to a certain extent with that one. All right, well, that was interesting. Let me start to share. And I'm going to do the cards now. I'm going to be using the Crow deck. I actually want to use another deck, but I have this little beautiful little table that I put. I was like, oh, this is a great place to hold all my cards. Well, I put them in there. And then because we had such a hot, muggy summer, I can't open the drawers. So like I have like 5 decks and I can't get it. I have to wait till it gets cold enough or something. Or I'm going to have to take the thing apart and figure out what to do. I think I have to put wax on the sides. It's all wood. It's an old piece, and it's probably, I think my parents got married in 1954. So it's an old piece of furniture. God knows how long it was on the planet before that. Where they bought it. They might have bought it as an antique. I don't know. But I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get in. Get my tarot cards. All right, that's enough of my problems. Just keeping it light. It's just so intense. As I'm doing this here, we had a mass casualty event in Maine, which is only 2 states away, 1 state away, or no, I think Massachusetts and Maine do connect. No, New Hampshire's in between. 2 states away. If you go along the highway, along the ocean there. It's just so hard, Pisces. I'm preaching to the choir. We are the choir. Pisces is the choir. Didn't anyone tell you? Wonderful. The sun is out today. So the sun, full illumination. We are seeing it all. One of the things that I want to say, and I say this a lot, so you may have heard it already come out of my mouth, but when the sun is at its highest peak, right, at noon, say, if you notice the shadow is small, but it's close and it's dark. The brighter the light, the less clouds, then the shadow is very, very dark, right? If it's overcast, you can maybe see your shadow, but it's sort of nebulous. But when full illumination occurs, everybody's being exposed. Everybody's being exposed right now. But it is a rebirth. This is a revelation. The sun is revelation. Challenging the 4 of Wands. This is about celebration. How is celebration? I think it just warns, I think it's just a little bit of a warning to say that you have to see it all and not just gloat on the things that you are happy to see, but understand that all of it is being exposed. Let's see what's at the root of this. The Page of Wands, going out, speaking of the message. You need to, oh, I know what this is. You have a message and you have to speak it. And you have to not care what your friends think. Because the time is now for you to crow, Pisces. With all that energy up at the top of the chart, that's the time. Take advantage. You know who's lying and who's not. The 7 of Swords. You see it's becoming clearer and clearer what was going on in the past. In the sky, we have cause and effect, the 2 of Pentacles. This is rough going, and what you have to do is keep your balance. keep your balance. Sometimes it's going to feel like you're not. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're caught in an updraft or a downdraft. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're keeling to one side. You got to keel to the other. It really is so important that you sort of go down the middle with this energy, and it's going to stabilize. It'll help stabilize you and the world. So anything you do for yourself, you're doing for everybody else. We have the King of Cups in the immediate future. This could be a man that comes into your life. It's man because it's the king, but it could be an authority figure. It doesn't have to be a man. Somebody who has compassion and understanding. This is often the Joe Biden card. What does he have in Pisces? He has his South Node's in Pisces. And Saturn's right on his South Node right now. Yeah. But there is this energy of you're not alone. You have support. There are people who will not only help support you, but mentor you, or somebody who may know a little bit more than you, who will help give you a step up, who will, you be able to be part of their court, right? This is somebody who has authority. And it's more of a masculine energy. So it has more to do with asserting than sustaining. The feminine is sustainers, but the kings assert. They assert the element, and this is asserting the element of water, is asserting love, asserting compassion. How are you seeing? You can see that this crow is same crow, still crowing, right? People will see you as an awakener. You will be seen as an awakener. You're awakening people. Hopes and fears. No, domestic situation. Oh, good. The King of Pentacles. So again, another king. This is dominion over your resources, your finances. Maybe you'll get some help. There looks like there's a lot of help coming for you, Pisces. A lot of help. And you didn't really ask for it. You hoped for it, but I think you figured if it comes into your life, it's meant to come into your life. Hopes and fears is the Empress. The Empress is about creative imagination. This is about imagining your world and having it and creating it at the same time. I think that's a hope. I would say that's not a fear. Although the immediate at the end of the month, or the outcome here is a lot of burdens. Now, in a monthly reading, the immediate future is usually 6 weeks. So this usually is the major card for the monthly reading. And the outcome is usually connected. And I feel like this person can help you with this situation, because you're carrying a little bit too much of a burden. Perhaps what you need is a therapist. Maybe you need a good therapist this month. Just somebody to talk it out with, to help you to let go of some of the things, because Pisces does feel everything, and you take it on in a way. So I'm going to pull 3 cards, see if I can get a major arcane. I'll show you which ones they are. Oh, okay. Moving away from something that no longer spiritually fulfills you, even though you've put a lot of energy into it. And then we have the Justice card. So things are going to get much fairer. Things are going to balance out for you. Your life is going to become much more balanced. Let's see what's underneath it. The 6 of Cups, which is family, love, remembrance. It's a beautiful card. It's a beautiful card. The 9 of Wands, boundaries, building healthy boundaries, and transformation. You are dying to the old you and being reborn anew. It's time to take center stage, Pisces. Center stage, where's that stage? It's the center stage of your life, making your life what you wanted. No more sacrificing unduly. No more thinking as long as everybody else is happy, that's okay with me. No, it's your turn. It's your turn. All right, let's pull an oracle card. This is the I'm pulling this month from the Spirit of the Wheel. Okay, here's the oh, here it is. I have the box. I can't find the. This is a really neat deck. It's a meditation deck. She gives you a lot of really good information. I'm going to read right from the book because it's the best information anyway. And you can meditate on the cards, and they're beautiful. Art is just fabulous. I mean, if you really like resonated to one of these cards, I wonder if they make like prints of these because they're just so fabulous. I don't know who the artist is. Let's see here. Created by so the cards were created by Linda Ewashina and illustrated by Jody Bergsma. No N at the end. Bergsma. There's been something flying around my head. I know what it is. I'm not going to react. Stay out of my video. Message for Pisces. Inner power, true self, potential. Stone of self. Okay, taking center stage. Here we go. 13. Of course, 13 is the death card in the tarot. Okay, let's see what it says here. Let me just focus. There we go. When you have any doubts about your abilities, the Stone Self card serves to remind you that you need only look within. We are all born with a purpose and all opportunities to fulfill it. Recognize that your true power comes from discovering and using your potential to make positive contributions to the world. The Stone of Self card calls on you to share your gifts with others. We sometimes lose sight of our gifts because of life circumstances, fear, negative thoughts, or criticism from others. Yet the gifts you are born with never leave you. Nurture your strengths. Recognize and appreciate what you can do when you are aligned with your true self. This is where you are meant to be. So look beyond yourself and your fears. Broaden your horizons and seize the opportunity to help make a difference in the world. Exactly what I said. Somewhat. Okay. Your prayer. Help me, Great Spirit, to see beyond my own needs so that all my relations and the world, of all my relations and the world. Let me say that again. Help me, Great Spirit, to see beyond my own needs to that of all my relations and the world. Guide me to claim my true power by developing and sharing my gifts with others in a loving manner. There you go, Pisces. Shine your light, shine it bright. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe if you would. That's the easiest way to support me. I also have a Patreon page if you want to support my work like that for as little as $5 a month. They get these taroscopes and different things sooner. And an occasion, and when I have the time, and when I can afford to do it, I'm going to put more stuff just for my patrons, so that they can get a little bit extra for being a little bit extra. So thank you, patrons from my Patreon. You're a hero. I know you're watching me. Have a reading with me. If you like, I do have availability. I do combination astrology, numerology, and Kabbalah readings. And They are hour or hour and a half. If it's your first one, I do prefer the extra time, but you do what you can afford to do. There's not that much of a difference between the hour and the hour and a half as far as how much it costs, but I have been in the place where the difference between $20 meant something. It's a little more than $20, but yeah, I'm saying $20, that was it. Like it was, or $5 over what I could afford. I couldn't do it. So I understand that. And let's see, anything else? No, just take care of yourself, guys. It's a very, very challenging time. And it's time that we have a real shift. And you're going to be part of that because you know that it's all love. It's just, we have to let the scales fall from our eyes to see it. All right, guys, take care. Namaste.